So there we go. Here's our basic AM Ford radio from 1970. Moisture and or rat pee help this thing much. You don't need any of this. And we're back apart, and there's our failure. Damn. We got the weird hole because I measured poorly. And let's go to some copyright-free music. Wait, I'm not hooked up. Hey guys, it's Bill. Welcome to Flatbroke Garage. If you guys are checking me out for the first time, thanks for coming in. If you're a regular, I appreciate you guys following along. And if you're a subscriber, you're the best. Today, we're going to be doing some updates. We're going to bring my cars into the late 20th century. Now, this is all experiments for a car I've been working on for a long time. I know a lot of guys ask about, and that's my 1971 Torino GT Grabber Blue Shaker car. I have been working on that car in the background, and these are my guinea pigs. If you're a regular to the channel, you'll recognize this is my 1970 and a half Ford Falcon. I call the Falconino. And there's another 1970 and a half Ford Falcon two-door, the Falconino 2.0. So basically these are Torinos. And what I'm learning on these, my beater cars, is what to do with the real car, my blue one. So what I want to do on this video, as you probably saw from the thumbnails, is I want to update this factory Ford AM radio to Bluetooth. Now, this is the cheapest Bluetooth I could buy. It's on Amazon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. 16 bucks, something like that. Stuff rattling in it. That can't be a good first sign. So we're going to update this to just a Bluetooth radio. So basically, I'm barely a mechanic, not an electrician. I know there's a lot of videos out there on YouTube on how to convert your AM radio into a Bluetooth radio. But see, those guys know exactly what they're doing. I don't. I'm just some guy that bought it off Amazon. So that's my first upgrade, to make the car just a little better. My next upgrade is to take the old glass fuse box that's in all the late 60s, early 70s Ford cars and convert them into a spade fuse block that goes right over where the existing one was. My buddy Jeff at ID10T Garage 3D prints and creates these fuse boxes. I'll put a link to his channel and information down below if you guys are interested in getting one of these fuse boxes. All right, so here we go. Here's my two green jewels. Like I said, if you follow along the channel, you recognize this car. We saved it out of a junkyard. And same thing with this one back here. This is the two-door 70 and a half Ford Falcon with a V8 and power steering. Rare options because these are bare bones cars. And this is the four-door 256 cylinder automatic option version of a Torino. Like I said, basically these are Torinos. So they only made them about 6 months till the Falcon line ran out. So this car here, actually, I believe, still has the factory AM radio. That's the one I want to use. The four-door has the old Kraco from Kmart or something like that. And I don't want to convert that. It's probably junk anyways. I know it turns on. It's got a tape player, but the speaker's shot too. So I would assume the speaker's shot in both of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order, it's like a dual cone speaker for the dash. I'm not looking for the boom, boom, booms, you know. I'm just looking for music, just decent music. And they sell an in-dash speaker that has a right and left for the factory mount. I don't know. I've ordered it. It isn't here yet, so we'll see if we get to that or not. Well, that's the plan for today. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get both of these on one video. If not, you might want to subscribe right here, Flatbroke Garage. And I appreciate if you guys follow along to the channel. Kind of let the video go to the end. So let's gather this stuff up, head up to the shop, and see if I can make this thing work. Worth a shot. I'm going to pull this one out, and we're going to use this for a guinea pig. See if we can do it. Shouldn't be too hard. I mean, just the old AM radio. I'm going to get the right nuts. And let's get this thing out of here, and we'll get it inside and see what we got. Boy, that's a lifetime ago. I forgot about those special little T sockets or whatever to take those nuts off. You should just bang on them with a screwdriver. I'll have to go look and see if I still have that or not. If not, we'll be banging on it with a screwdriver. Way better to practice on the junk car than it is my nice blue 71 GT. So, practice car, good car. So what I did was, instead of having that socket, I took a pair of needle nose pliers and made like a little deal that fits in there. And look at that, it turns it right out. Yeah. You know, everybody keeps a set of needle nose pliers or the needles broke. You don't know why. Right there's why. I made a specialty tool. I didn't have to go buy from Dennis Carpenter and way overpay for that. All right, let me get those out, and we'll get this radio dropped. So there we go. Here's our basic AM Ford radio from 1970. Things were huge back then. I don't think the moisture and or rat pee helped this thing much. I cut the speaker wires because I might utilize the speaker wire, the speaker up in the dash if it's still good. Unplugged the power, and this is the light for the dial. So see if we can unplug that and reuse that. Let's get this thing apart because our little Bluetoothy thing like fits right inside there. So we'll open that up in a second. Let's get this apart. I think just the back cover comes off. I know there's guys, you can send these radios out and get them totally converted. That's about $500 to $600. And they do a good job. Probably way better than I'll do with this. But I just want some Bluetooth. And I don't want to spend a lot of money. There we go. Unplug the light, I guess. I think. Or does it just slide off around it? Looks like it'll slide over the light. Yeah. Come on, baby. There we go. Oh, and there's our light bulb for the... Wow. Yeah, a little corrosion in there. But what we have to do is we're going to eliminate... Well, it's all rusty. I don't even tune. Well, it kind of turns. So we're going to eliminate all the guts in here. And let me show you a little Bluetoothy thing here. And you see it's got a little knob for on, off, and volume. Here's your speakers, little amps, little tiny amps. There's your speakers, and there's a power outlet. There should be a cord. Yeah. I'd like to even give you a little screwdriver. There's your cord. I guess you put a little lid on this for a spacer for letting some air through it. I think it's kind of cool. So let's get this radio gutted out, and we'll see about getting this put in. Got the basic housing apart. I got to cut these wires, but we don't need any of this. And we're going to have to figure out a way to get the knob through there. Let me get these cut off here. That's our shell off there. Now, it's had to go together some way. Got to come apart another. Oh, here's some more nuts and bolts. Let's dissect some more. As it turns out, there was just 4 sheet metal screws in the front of the radio that held the housing in, along with 1 9/16 nut for the volume control. So it's pretty easy to take apart. So here's what we got. We got the volume control, which is kind of a hassle to try and put this onto. But if I was to put this on the tuner side, let me show you. The tuner knob is right inside this housing, and there's like a little drive shaft. Where is it? I'm not one of those clean, organized shops. It's got this little dry shaft thing that goes inside here, and that's what did the tuning. But if we made like a little universal joint and put them together, I mean, it would be on the wrong side of the radio, but that'd be a lot easier to do. So before I start fabricating and putting this in, I'm going to put this little unit together, and we're actually going to see if this thing from the Hunan province actually works. So I need a 12-volt source, I need a speaker, and I'm going to read the instructions and put this together, and let's see if this thing will work. Well, okay, like I said, before we get too crazy about getting all this in, I want to be sure this works. Now, I assembled it. It basically just assembled these, I don't know, these little panels. But I wired up a little cheap Pioneer speaker. I got a car battery here, and we're just going to hook 12 volts to it and see if it'll connect to my phone. Oh, shoot. Oh, well, that didn't work. Broke my little alligator clip. Vice grips in place. Speaker hooked up. And I only hooked up the one speaker. There's a place for two. But I think you just turn it on. Oh, all right. So we got tone. I gotta see if it'll connect to my phone. Let's see. Go to Bluetooth. And, oh, there we go. Bluetooth audio. Hit that. Let's see. Pair. Hey, look at that. And I got this volume all the way up. Let's go to something that's not copywritten. It's playing my video. Now, this isn't much of a speaker. This is literally just a cheapy Pioneer speaker, and it's not mounted in any box, but that thing's got pretty good sound. So, I think, oh, it's even got a blue light that goes on in there. So that's kind of cool. So, all right, pause. All right, well, we don't need the tuner anymore, so we're going to cut that off to make room for a little Bluetooth adapter, and this should just slice off, I hope. And that bracket has to go. And that should give us enough room to mount the push button thing in with the dial and sneak in the Bluetoothy thing. We'll see if it fits. I've partially reassembled the radio. Now here's where we cut the tuner wheel out in that bracket, and I put the push button mechanism back in, and it's just held on with these two screws right here. Your volume and on-off button should be on this side, and this is the tuning side. You know, I could butcher this thing apart. This is, like I said, the volume wheel, but it's just held on with like another nut like that. I might just call this dead, and we'll just leave it here. I know it's not right. I know there's some of you guys will say that, you know, you switch them around, but if I can get this back in there, and then all I'll need is my on-off button and my volume, which, you know, like I said, it's now the tuner, but nah. This is my first one. This is just all a practice before I get to my nice car. So I got the little drive shafty thing here, and this slips into that little plastic tab. See that? I'll bring it in there. And that is your tuner. You turn that and it goes around. But it's like a little drive shaft, so it's you know, you can go off center. So my plan is to get the old hot glue gun out, and I'm gonna hot glue gun the little receiver thing, the Bluetoothy thing here, and we're gonna connect that little drive shaft and that volume knob via, I think I got some, I don't know, some rubber line. I think there's the air line that came with my plasma cutter. I'm gonna connect them like that. I'm gonna have to cut this little drive shaft off. It's too big. Let me put the nut on this. We'll call this side done. We'll see about mounting this on. I'm gonna have to, oh, I got the power outlet too. I might have to cut a bit out of the back of the radio to put the power outlet and the speakers in. I don't know if I'll make that sharp of a bend. I don't know. We'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's get that cut and get this mounted and get that mounted. I'm just using some hose cutters. Wow, that just snapped that right off. And I measured they're pretty close to the same diameter. It'll fit in there. I'm going to heat that up. And I know that this will fit over that end there. So that's good. We'll get that set. And let me get some hose cut. I'll cut a little more than I need, and then we'll just whittle it down from there. All right, so here's our original volume control. And that comes up through. Okay, go get a socket. I think I got one here. There it goes. All right, so that's done. That's just a dummy knob for now. And now we gotta, I might grind a little bit of that burr off there so we can start this on a little easier. Then we'll measure our distance to cut this off. There we go. I got it pushed on there a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch. And now that will fit inside there. Ta-da. And now we can measure, see where we can mount this. I don't know if it's better to put it high. I'm going to go a little low with it. Now see, this lid sits right down flat here, so it's not tall. This thing drops down. So I have to stay below this piece. So we're going to go that way, I think. The knob facing up. That should work. And that puts our power in back. So I might have to make an outlet in the back of this to put our power cord through here. The speakers should be able to pull through where the original speaker wires pulled out of. Cut my tube and we'll glue this thing in. That'll be fixed. So before I glue it in, I'm going to put my speaker connections on. Then we'll glue it in because it's a lot easier to get to it like this. Well, I slid the back or the top of the radio on to be sure it fits. I still have to cut a hole for the power supply, but I ran the speaker wires through the factory, I guess, wire hold down. I actually clamp these wires and stop them from being yanked. It goes kind of like this. And this is the factory ground for the radio. So we can put those, I think it goes like right there. We go. Yeah, so that's how roughly that just keeps from tugging the wires out. But like I said, I gotta drill a hole in the back of this radio base to get that power cord in. But as you can see, the The unit's in here and the knob works. I got to glue it in so the knob will work. Turn it off, on, and volume. So I'm going to get some, I got some little plastic blocks. I'm going to hot glue gun the blocks in here and then glue this to the blocks, hopefully. Put our light in, plug it in, and see if this thing actually fires up again. I don't know. Like I said, not a radio guy, not an electrician. Just can't afford the $500 modified one, so I'm just trying to make it on my own. I might clean this thing up and paint it while it's off. I don't know. Just mouse pee-ish, you know? Probably wouldn't hurt. All right, I got my hot glue gun warming up, and I got these little soft plastic shims or blocks. These are 5mm. These are, what are they, 2mm. Basically, these are just for doing laminate flooring in your house to space them off the wall. So we didn't use all of them when we finished flooring our bedroom. So I got a whole box of these nice little rubber spacers. So I cut the 2mm off, made some 5mm blocks or glue them together. We're going to set them in here and glue this on. I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. Like I said, this is all experiment, guys. My first time even trying this. May fail miserably, but at least my failure will be your gain. All right, so we're going to let that warm up. We'll glue our blocks in and go from there. All right, well, the hot glue gun is oozing all over the place, so I'm assuming we're gluing. I'm just going to put well, it ain't too hot yet. Put a dab of it here. I think she's got to warm up a little more. Making these little spider webs. But I think it's going to be the perfect size to glue that on. All right. I don't know if she's hot enough yet again. Let's try. Oh, yeah. There we go. It said Arts and Crafts of Flatbroke Garage. All right, now we're going to glue it onto the base. How am I going to do this? All right, that one's on. Let's see where we sit. That one might be too big because the old antenna went through there and that's a little bit thicker on that side. Should go in the back. That might work. Oh, hear the volume go off and on. Cool, cool, cool. All right. I think I get it out of here. And we're gonna glue this. Oh, now we got the glue rolling. Holy crap. Alright, that's set. Now, can I slide this over enough without knocking off our little drive shafty thing to glue this on? Alright, it's attached. And volume off on. Call it good. I gotta unplug this glue gun, man. This thing's oozing everywhere. Alright, so it's mounted. Alright, well I got the top back on the radio. I just painted it with that Alumablast stuff. And what I did was I roughly measured and I drilled a pilot hole right there for the plug. And our plug is right, there it is, right there. Oh, no wait. Our plug is right there. So I gotta make this hole a little bigger. But as you can see, the lid fits on nice. All the screws are gonna line up. I got the light hooked, plugged back in. So I'm gonna take this off one more time, drill that pilot hole out so I can get the big plug put back in. And we should be good to rock and roll. We'll give this thing a test drive. All right, well, here we go. We got the weird hole because I measured poorly. I'd like to say this was all on purpose, but no, I measured wrong. But our plug fits in the back nice. We got our speaker wires out the side, and yes, I did mark which was right and left. So we're going to button this up, put the light in it, and yeah, we'll have tunes, I hope. All right, well, you probably can't hear it, but there's Pink Floyd playing over that speaker, and I'm not getting copyrighted for it because after I got it all put together, that little rubber hose thing I created just fell off. So I have a dilemma. I got to take this thing apart and see if I can somehow weasel this. It's all glued in. We'll figure it out. But the light goes on. Well, you really can't tell, but the old AM radio light goes on. And it does work. The weak spot was my fabrication of the plastic line. So, all right, let me pull it all apart again. I'm doing this so you don't have to. And we're back apart, and there's our failure. Damn it. I was going to glue that in, and I didn't. I don't know. I'm going to have to take the whole radio apart, pull the push buttons out so I can get in there to glue that in. Dang it. See what happens when you rush? All right, let me take the whole thing apart again. I'd like to be one of those YouTube guys that just puts it together and everything works. No, not me. And we're back. Thanks to the Gluematic 3000, I was able to glue that thing back together. Now, we have it together. Oh, I got just one little speaker hooked up, but we got a 12-volt source. Let's turn this on. Heard it click. And let's go to some copyright-free music. I'm going to use something off one of my videos here. Let's see if it makes sound. Wait, I'm not hooked up. The thing actually works.
I'll show you a few clips.
Now we're just on a cheap little speaker, but the volume goes up. Volume goes down. Can turn it off. It works. I hope that little rubber thing stays on there. I glued it on this time. So apparently the phone does not go through the Bluetooth. Now I bought the cheapest one on Amazon. Like I said, it was 16 bucks. I'll put a link to it in the description below. Let me turn off the copyrighted Floyd. It's the next day. The radio's done. The Falconino is in the shop, and the speaker showed up. It is from Ken Harris Enterprises, Vintage Car Audio. Now, I open this thing up, and I'm not really sure I'm totally impressed with this thing. It's 3D printed, and it's got some no-name Chinesium speakers in it. They got some pretty good-sized magnets, but I don't know. Jeff at ID 10T Garage, you want to make some more money? Start 3D printing these speaker mounts. You could make $1 million for what they charge for this. We're going to get the old radio out of the car, which is, like I said, the Kraco cassette player. It does work. And get the speaker out. Hopefully they 3D printed this thing so it fits. All right. Give it a shot and see how it goes. Into the luxurious cabin of the 1970 Falcon. This is a 58,000 original mile car. I know that because I've actually tracked down the history of this car. There's our radio. As you see, you turn the key on, and the radio comes right on, you know. Cassette player. Well, you can kind of hear it make a noise, but yep. I'm going to keep it, maybe future project, but I like Bluetooth better. I think if we pull these off, Yep, they still got the same factory Ford mounting nuts, which is cool. They didn't get rid of those. So let me go get that weird pair of pliers I ground down and disconnect some wires, and I'll get this thing out of here. All right, well, there is our factory speaker. It's not even remotely close to the thing they sent me. So we'll be returning that because that was $80 and it's not even close. Junk. All right, well, I guess I'm going to see if this radio, their speaker, here's their plug for it. I'm going to see if this speaker's even going to work. If it does, then we'll go with the radio install. Dang it. So I guess we're just going to have to go mano a mano. And hopefully this speaker works. Doesn't look too bad. The cone's still in it. And here's our wonderful wiring with wire nuts. And I don't even know the speakers. Must have had speakers in this car somewhere. They got an inline fuse, which is good. Look at those wires. Oh, those wires. This is for a... They put a horn relay in here because the horn button broke. So I guess that's what these wires are here. Just keep messing with stuff. And there we go. It's out. I was wrong. It's not a Kraco. It's an AudioVox. It says date installed. Look at, I guess it was a warranty. Purchase date. Purchase date, installed, dealer. Wow, they went high tech back then. One good thing they did do was they utilized the factory radio plug. I don't know if you can see it, but they did not butcher it. So the factory radio power plug is still there, which is good. We can utilize that, and then the factory, like I said, speaker plug is here. So I guess we're just gonna put a plug together and see if that one's gonna work. And so I called NPD, people I got the parts from. They were cool. They said box it up and ship it back. Now I gotta pay to ship it back. They said they'll reimburse me. But I tell you what, guys, I'm telling you, I double checked the part number on their box to their listing, and it says it fits this car along with a bazillion other late 60s, early 70s Fords. Guy gets frustrated. Now, sure, I could have gone under, taken a picture, and be sure I had a visual and measurements for the speaker. Silly, you know, or I could have just trusted the people selling the parts so they don't have to deal with purchase, return. They would have gotten it right. No, why would they do that? I guess it's my fault in the long run for not doing somebody else's job for them. Sorry I'm on a rant here, but this part stuff is just getting... Well, before I jump the gun and put everything in, hook it up, hook the radio up, I used a factory plug and get the light hooked up, everything hooked up. It's kind of grounded right now. I just ran 2 wires to the factory speaker that actually looked okay. Now we're going to push the button and see if this thing will make noise. There we go. I would say that's good. Ta-da, the radio works. So now we can install it and hope it still works. So, shouldn't be too much more. We'll get this thing zipped in here. We'll just go with the mono speaker, and we're going to live with it for now. At least I got some Bluetooth tunes. I like that. Well, there we go. The radio is installed. And if you look, it's kind of hard to tell in the daylight, but you see the lights on the radio too. So that's cool. Let's hook it up to the Bluetooth and see what happens. I got the car running because I had the door open and the interior light killing the battery. So let's turn it on. There we go. So just turned on. Just connected, and we're just going to play seconds of a song. Well, there you go. that was pretty cool. It does work. So the volume control works on my phone for the radio, and the volume control on the radio work. I call it a win. Also, when I was working on this, the original radio had a clock in it, which needed constant 12-volt power. Whoever put this radio in was cut the wire for the cigarette lighter and used that for the constant feed for the clock and memory on the radio. So once I saw that, I connected a cigarette lighter back up. So now I got a lighter so I can charge my cameras and stuff when I drive. We got the Bluetooth stereo. I've got my steering adjusted on this car. Well, there we go. That went really well-ish, you know, with the speaker and such, and that little thing breaking off, but I learned. If you guys want to try this, the link for this part in the description will be down below. It's on Amazon, $16. Like I said, this is just a trial run. I needed tunes in the old Falconino, and I needed to be hands-free-ish. I do not have time to do the fuse box. This is the fuse box out of the Falconino 2.0. If you own a Mustang or Torino or anything of that era, you know all these fuse boxes rust out because the cowls rust out and water gets down on these, and they are junk, miserable to repair, and why bother? So we will be putting the spade fuse box in the Falconino 2.0 coming up real soon. And for everybody that's wondering about Ashley's Mustang and you stayed to the end of the video, I got a little preview for you. No choke, but the Mustang is coming back, guys. So be sure to subscribe and follow along. Ashley will be here to do the finishing touches, and we're going to take it for a drive. That's coming up a little later this year. As always, thank you so much for following along, watching to the end of the video. If you're watching this in the first week, if you're on a phone app, hit the hype button. It helps me out. I'm just a little channel. And I ain't asking for handouts or joining clubs or anything. Just watch to the end of videos, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Was this a good idea doing this, or should I just bought one already made? Well, we will catch you on the next one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. You're the best. We'll see you later.